What's up, dudes and dudettes? My name's Scythe, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different, more special type of episode. Obviously, you're going to see that I'm not using the face cam, and the reason for that is because what I'm going to be doing today is building, and building requires me to make a lot of cuts so that we can kind of keep the flow of the episode moving while not taking up, way too much time to actually focus on building a specific spot, like for 5 years. I'm actually just starting my timer right here so I can keep track. So everybody for a very long time has been requesting me to actually do some building on camera. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. I've been working on a PvP map over here. This is going to be Office from Counter-Strike, and I've found a lot of great resources online, like Minecraft builds of this map, which are fantastic because it helps me to get like proper dimensions and sightlines and stuff like that. Although, of course, I'm not too picky when it comes to builds like this, so it's not going to be exact, that's for sure. As you can see, I've kind of laid out the basic foundation of the map. Here, of course, is the spawn in the tunnels, just to give you an idea. I'm sure everybody kind of has a better idea of how this map is supposed to be over myself personally. We got a sniper sightline here. I guess it'll work for Shadow Hunter, where you can actually see almost all the way across map down the hallway. That's the other thing too I do want to mention. There's not going to be a giveaway or anything like that today. This is going to be a calmer, more relaxed, like very different type of episode. And like I said, this is probably going to take a couple episodes because a build like this, as you've seen, I've laid out the basic skeleton structure, but for the most part, I thought about doing that on camera, but then I thought that I probably didn't really want to, because for the most part, laying out the skeleton was just me like looking at referenced pictures online and stuff like that, because it's been a very, very long time since I've actually played Counter-Strike. I used to play Counter-Strike Source, not CSGO or anything like that, so I'm not really the best at this type of a map, and I've just been looking at screenshots. I may end up having to install Counter-Strike just so I can get some better reference points, because the map that I'm looking at right now is just a top-down map. But as you can see, if we kind of stand right here, I added a little bit of snow beds here just so you can actually jump into those second floors, no problem. But I'm liking it, man. I'm liking the way that this is turning out. When I see something like this at this angle in particular, it looks really, really good. So what I've been doing for the ground, as you can kind of see, I'm trying to use light gray rather than just white, because the way I see it, there's so much snow on this map that it would end up just becoming like ridiculous if ridiculously bright if I didn't set it up with a light gray, which is slightly darker than a full-on white. And here's the white block, here's the gray block. You can't really see that much of a visual difference anyways, but it still does make a difference. Now, I'm noticing that I didn't set up this area over here, actually. And let me see. I'll do a little bit of this building on camera before I end up doing a bit of a cut. I am noticing that there does have to be a little bit of a wall here, but that's okay. I can just leave it like this, because the dimensions are actually very, very tricky. That's for sure. Like, it's been quite a project thus far, even just making like all of this stuff right here. And I've been having a lot of fun with it, actually. Like, it's been really cool to be making a project like this. Look at him doing his sniping. That's gonna be fun when we got this map set up. But yeah, overall, like, it still is a bit tricky for me. I've kind of set up, like you can see right here, we're actually like right at the edge of the map too. So it ended up working out perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just, again, I'm looking at reference pictures that I can just find online, and the dimensions are not going to be exact or anything like that. Also, the other thing too is just commentating as a whole. I don't really have that much experience with doing, how would I put it, like complex brain required stuff like this while commentating is actually very, very difficult for me. Like, especially because I'm not like some experienced like Minecraft building channel or anything like that. So if I do end up going in circles, sorry about that, dudes and dudettes, but I'm learning. I'm kind of getting the hang of everything here. Now, I'm pretty sure this area right here is actually supposed to be staircases up into the office area. As you can see, the brown right here, this is going to be like, all of this is going to be up in its level. Like right here, this is just the infrastructure and the skeleton of the map, but otherwise floor level is actually going to be up here so that you actually can jump in like through the crates and jump through window, and then you'll be walking around here in the office. And of course the brown is going to be desks, which I will use for some blockades and stuff like that. For the most part, like I said, this is not going to be 100% accurate, and I kind of got better at making the map as I was going through it and discovering my own dimensions and stuff like that. But for the most part, one thing I did try to keep in touch was all of the sight lines. Like over here in this hallway, you can see all the way into whatever this staircase call out is. I'm not exactly sure. This is the long hall you can see all the way down, which I'm noticing it's actually quite a bit smaller than this hallway right here, and they're supposed to be quite even. So that would explain why this spot right here is a bit uneven. So actually I'm gonna have to bring this wall out a bit, like maybe a couple blocks over to here, and then I'm going to have to move this room over to here, and that'll definitely get the flow to be a little bit better. Yeah, that looks a lot better to me. I think this room over here, I'm not exactly sure, just because, again, I have a vertical layout of this map. I'm pretty sure this room is supposed to have elevators or something like that. Now, one thing that may end up being a bit of a problem for Trove's sake, because it's a third-person game and not a first-person game, is these little teeny-weeny doorways might end up being a bit of a problem camera-wise if you end up fighting someone here. I'm not exactly sure. We'll just have to kind of see it, because that's the thing, too. When designing a PvP map, is you gotta get feedback. That's one of the biggest things, is getting feedback from people playing it. Not to mention, the biggest thing that I always like doing is just while playing a map, I just kind of try to watch for like hot points on the map and stuff like that, and then I try to make it like, for the giant kitchen map, for example, there's certain areas where people weren't going and certain areas where people were going. People were always skipping straight through the middle of the map. That's why I ended up putting the lava down there to kind of dissuade people from that. And then people started to take the sidelines and stuff. Now, I'm gonna have to kind of build up a bit of these rooms and stuff. I know that this is supposed to be a staircase, but I'm guessing that it has to end up going to this level right here. So I'm actually gonna work on this little hallway right here. I've kind of set it up with something I'm satisfied with. It's a little bit claustrophobic when you come into this front entrance here, but then the ceiling kind of steps up as soon as you get in. I'm kind of going for the same building color as it is on the outside, albeit this is supposed to actually be brick from what I'm actually going for in the look. So it wouldn't really make sense that it's all kind of brick on the inside as well, but I think that it'll work out. I'm not exactly sure what the color of this area is supposed to actually end up being, but it ended up working out, because now we can actually go into the main hallway here, and I'm actually gonna go for this light blue right here, because from what I can tell, the hallway itself is actually supposed to be a bit of a grayer blue, so I might actually go for something like that if I can find a block color that I'm satisfied with, because that blue is okay, but it's a little bit harsh on the eyes. Maybe I'll go for a business blue. Well, I knew it was gonna happen, but I ran into some technical difficulties with my recording software, and although I did show you all this in that footage, it ended up getting corrupt. So what I ended up doing right here is I was going to go with this blue right here for the hallway, but then I found this dark denim, I think it's called, or something like that, right? Yeah, boiled denim, which is actually perfect for what I'm going for, because the hallway, as far as I can tell from the reference pictures and from my memory from like 20 years ago playing this map all the time, is I'm pretty sure that the hallway itself was kind of bluish, but it wasn't necessarily something very big and bright and colorful like this. Not that we can't get away with that in Trove, but personally I just don't think it would really work out, especially because one of the rules of thumb that I always do for building is, and you can do this for almost any type of build, it's always a good idea to do it, where you always make the floor darker than the ceiling. This gives the illusion that there's a little bit more space going on and stuff like that, and it just overall makes it feel really, really cool. Like right here, we're gonna go with something like this and probably use one layer of this for the wall and then maybe white on top of it or something. I'm gonna have to look at some more reference pictures to see what the wallpaper color is, but otherwise over here is the staircase that I ended up laying out, and I'm probably going to put a power up over here to kind of make people want to go over there rather than just taking this shortcut. I'm not even exactly sure what this shortcut is. I just see it on the reference picture, so I could be wrong about that. And that's one thing I do want to say is if any of you have like any ideas or like know the map more than me, you're more than welcome to leave a comment down below and let me know what I can fix, because this map is going to take me a little while before it goes live. Now, out here, this is actually supposed to be brick is what I'm kind of going for. So it's a little bit weird to make the color go inside as well, but I think it's a cool enough transition. I think it works okay. And this is actually just supposed to be a little bit of a closed off area. Probably should actually be the same red, but I wanted to go with pillars instead. So I might actually, let's see how this looks. Yeah, I like that one a lot better because now that's red on red. At least for the type of color. This is more of an orange color, but still it fits a little bit better than the gray does, and it's a little bit of a nicer transition. So that means that I could also, well, maybe I could do something like this. Nah, I don't really like that this ceiling is so low. That's one thing. So I'm probably gonna bring this up one block. Actually, you know what I could do? Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. I'll actually do this live, even though it's probably gonna take me like 15 years to do. And it's kind of a little bit of a no-no, but hey, whatever. So, yeah, that feels a little bit better, doesn't it? Yeah, that's got a little bit more flow to it. And it's also, because that's the thing, too, is I'm trying to make this map, above all else, feel good. That's always the goal, and that is the top priority over pretty much everything, is to make the map feel good rather than making it like an exact replica or anything like that. So yeah, you know what? This might... Okay, that's a little bit weird, so I'm just gonna put that back there and maybe leave it off on that side or something. I don't know. I'll tinker with it a little bit more, but otherwise, I'm satisfied with how it is right now. Maybe we can get away with this. Yes, we definitely can. That'll actually make it a much nicer transition. And ignore the hole at the top right there because that is not actually the roof of the building. But anyway, I'm going to keep building a little bit more and then show you our next level of progress. They found me. Things always end up getting more and more difficult for me to build when other people start coming around. Not that I don't like the people hanging out. That's why I'm always going into hide mode and stuff. But it's like... Trove is not the best game when it comes to building. Out of voxel games, its vanilla building system is definitely one of the best, I would say, even better than Minecraft. But when compared to like World Edit and the tools that Minecraft and other build voxel games have, then no sir, no ma'am. But as you can see right here, like I can't place blocks while Matt Lava Man is standing there. That's one of the big things that I run into. And then also, if I start planting blocks and then these guys walk where I was planting the blocks, even if I'm doing something like this, like you see right there, and if anybody else came around, you could have seen again, like more often than not, I will try to place like a wall and then it's just someone gets in the way. I'm not trying to complain or anything. I'm just trying to give a perspective to people that don't actually build to know how difficult it can be for me to build with multiple people around. And that's why I usually go into hide mode. Anyway, so far I've laid out the structure a little bit more. I need to have this denim actually go all the way up into that hallway. It kind of breaks off over there, but as far as I can tell, it is the same color almost everywhere except for this room right here and this room right here. And then otherwise everywhere else, according to this top-down map that I'm looking at, is just the same all the way through. Now, I'm actually quite satisfied with the way that these walls are turning out. I really like the color of them. I think I can also get away with white instead of light gray as an option because it will kind of vary things up from the snow, except, wow, that's white. Okay, that's not gonna work. I mean, maybe it would look a little bit better if I had it overlay on top, but yeah, that doesn't really work out. So I'm just gonna keep messing with stuff, kind of laying out the floor plans a little bit more, and I'll come back to you in a bit. Now this, I'm not exactly sure. I think the walls can actually work like this, but unfortunately, as you can see, it's very bland. So I might want to try and work in, like, maybe using this as a baseboard on the bottom here, the sepia color or whatever, and then maybe making the walls out of a different color. I'm kind of experimenting with stuff. Gray is okay as a ceiling, but as you can kind of see when we're standing in the hallway, it makes it very, very dull. So outside of changing the colors of the walls, or maybe changing the color of the ceiling to something else, I would probably have to use a bit of imagination and prop items and stuff like that to kind of make things look a little bit fancier, you know, because otherwise the biggest thing that I always try to do with PvP maps is don't go too crazy on the props, because prop items single-handedly are one of the laggiest, like they're one of the biggest frame rate killers to people with low-end computers, and I try to keep everything open to everybody like that, because I mean there's so many people that play Trove with low-end PCs, and it's like seriously, man, I'm just trying to fix stuff up. Hey Joe! And hello, Matt and Ender Boy. They kind of wanted me to give them a half of a shout out while I was just building. But anyways, I'm going to kind of keep working on the floor a little bit. I just wanted to show you all the progress and show you all that I'm experimenting with this. But if I do something like this again, I'm going to have to put something on the sidelines, maybe paintings and pictures. Ooh. There are picture prop items, so that could end up being okay, because otherwise I'm not really feeling this right now. Maybe once I have more of the hallway actually like finished up, it might end up looking okay, but I'm not exactly sure with how it is right now. So I'm just gonna keep experimenting a little bit and working on the floor. Yeah, it's kind of coming along. I mean, it looks okay being kind of a hallway like this, but I kind of fluked over here in the vending machine room. Yeah, now this is a bit more like it. I actually have business blue on the bottom for the baseboard, and then it's a light blue for the walls, and then the ceiling is actually just white. So I may end up changing the colors in here a little bit. I think if I take a little bit of a darker color for the baseboard, that might actually be cooler. Now the other thing too that's a bit tedious that I keep trying to do is, you see that little line right there? That's because there's no blocks in this corner. So what I'm trying to do, and I may end up missing some spots in the end, is filling in all those slots so that we don't have a little bit of the lighting issue there. Now I'm gonna try and see if Hazelish, I think, whoa, I don't need that many. Let's see if Hazelish is the one that I'm searching for, because this I think will work very well with this other color. Because it's not too, yeah, there we go. That'll break a bit of the monotony in the colors going on. Yeah, I think that'll work out. I'm still gonna try and make the hallways a little bit more busy with just stuff and power-ups and everything like that. But otherwise, I think this map is gonna turn out really, really cool just as I'm building it. And as it's kind of coming along a bit more, I'm actually getting very excited for it. And also, I do want to mention, just as a side note, I've gotten lots of people requesting me to make like funny MLG montages in Trove. So that's kind of hashtag secret plan, is once I end up having this map fully designed, I'm probably gonna end up doing something like that. But anyways, I am noticing that we are on time for today, dudes and dudettes, so I'm gonna call it here for this episode, and I'm probably going to keep recording as I'm building this a little bit more, but I may end up stopping very soon. Like I said, this is gonna take a couple episodes to actually like get done, so hopefully you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did, because I can always do more build videos like this in the future, but otherwise I'm still gonna record this anyway, and you're gonna kind of see these videos sporadically across like the channel just every now and then for every days that I do actually have it. And ultimately, I think we actually got quite a bit of progress done. I'm probably gonna finish a bit more of this before you end up seeing like the next episode. We're probably gonna have a bit more progress done, but as for right now, that's gonna be it. And well, I hope you enjoyed it anyways, dudes and dudettes. Now it's time for the comment of the day. So for today, we've got best video ever because PvP. More times this please by Pino Gwyn Games. I don't know if that's supposed to be penguin. Maybe that's just how I saw it in my head. By the way, everybody kept warning me or giving me a heads up. I actually adjusted the episode numbers right here because that would have sucked if I was an episode off on like 500 pages. So anyways, the reason that I chose this comment was because in my most recent stream, which was Block Party, at least the most recent stream that's on YouTube, I may have streamed by the time this video comes out, lots of people seem to enjoy me playing PvP rather than doing adventure stuff, and I think I'm gonna keep that format from now on. Whenever I do streaming, we're probably gonna stick close to like PvP or like doing other things than what we usually do in the Trove episodes, because in the Trove episodes, I save that time for all the adventuring and stuff, and it probably gets a bit boring doing that for an hour and just grinding out while adventuring and stuff. That said, if I end up like grinding a bunch of tomes or experience or something like that and I feel like streaming it, of course I will. But for the most part, I'm gonna try and keep the streams maybe a bit more focused on PvP and just kind of hanging out with all of you dudes and dudettes. Either way, that's it for today. So thank you all so much for watching. Do not forget to Hadouken the like button for me. I would very much appreciate it, especially if you enjoyed this build episode, because there are more to come. And as always, sayonara and stay epic, everybody.